This is a cross-cultural analysis using Hofstede's dimension model, taking a look at the country of Ireland. Ireland is a single island with two political units, Northern Ireland and the Republic of Ireland, also called ERA. It's located just west of the United Kingdom, which is comprised of England, Scotland, Wales, and Northern Ireland. The map to the right indicates the location of Belfast, the capital of Northern Ireland, and Dublin, the capital of ARA. Ireland is a 32,595 square mile island, including the smaller Aran Islands. The province of Northern Ireland has 1.8 million people, comprised of 40% Catholics, and the Republic of Ireland has 4.9 million people, comprised of 85% Catholics. The history of the Church and State and governance. The Protestant Reformation, started by King Henry VIII and his daughter, Queen Elizabeth I, started the great religious divide between native Irish Catholics and the ruling Protestants. Catholics were dispossessed of their land, which was then given to Protestant English, Scottish aristocrats. Irish Catholics fled to the United States and Australia, or even Southern Ireland, for penal laws against all Catholics commenced in 1695. The religious warring between Ireland and Great Britain continued for over 400 years into the 20th century. Anglo-Irish Treaty and Civil War in 1921 resulted in 26 southernmost counties forming a free state, which was eventually called the Republic of Ireland. Northern Ireland, however, remained under the British Empire's rule until the end of the 20th century. What is the governance of the Republic of Ireland, or ERA? It's parliamentary republic. Governance by the Parliament with a Senate, also called Seanad Éireann, and the House of Representatives, also called Dáil Éireann, with the head of state being the President. However, the Prime Minister, or Taoiseach, holds the real power. The picture in this slide is of the government building in Dublin with the office of the Taoiseach Prime Minister. What is the governance for the province of Northern Ireland? It is governed by the Northern Ireland Assembly and Parliament of the United Kingdom. Ireland elects 17 members to the British Parliament. However, in 1998, the United Kingdom government transferred a great deal of control to Northern Ireland Assembly, which is overseen by the Northern Ireland Executive. Executive is chaired by the First Minister and Deputy First Minister. The picture in this slide is of Stormont Castle in Belfast, which is the home of the Northern Ireland Executive. What is Ireland like today? Well, it's a culture rich in ancient history, from leprechauns and fairy tales and ancient ruins and civilization to fine arts and fanciful folklore. Horseback riding and hurling are two of the favorite sports over there today. What are the major industries? They include pharmaceuticals, including biotechnology, and it also includes chemicals such as polymer and plastics, computer hardware and software, food products such as beef and sheep or lamb, beverages and brewing such as the Guinness Brewery picture that you see here. This is Ireland today. So if we were to take a Christian female expatriate American living and working in Ireland as a company manager, and we would ask her how to frame conversations and directives to her subordinates and peers and stakeholders, how should she communicate, motivate, and affect good teamwork? Let's use Hofstede's 6 cultural dimension model and take a look. The graph in this slide indicates US in the color blue and Ireland in the color orange. And as you can see, an overall cultural comparison of the US to Ireland reveals they are very similar. They both have low power distance, high individualism, high masculinity, low uncertainty avoidance, low long-term orientation, and high indulgence. The first thing she would want to do is start off on the right foot, and that comes straight from the Bible, John 13:34 through 35. A new command I give you, love one another. As I have loved you, so you must love one another. By this all men will know that you are my disciples, if you love one another. So it is imperative for this manager that she remain humble enough to listen, learn, and modify some of her own national cultural orientation in order to provide best management practices and build valuable, lasting relationships with the people of Ireland so she can be successful in her mission. Let's examine those dimensions once again, one at a time, and create an action plan. The first dimension is the power distance. And in this case, that orientation is toward a shared equality between humans and an acceptance that sometimes roles change back and forth. Both of these cultures are low context. But Ireland has a stronger preference than the US for decentralized organizations, where the leaders consult with their employees prior to making important decisions. A participatory style of deliberating is used, so the Irish are generally more vocal than Americans. Therefore, she should involve as many people as possible to accomplish tasks, patiently work as a team to talk about what they're trying to achieve, collaboratively create a path to reach the goal, and ensure that all directions, standards, and expectations are explicit. The next dimension is individualism, and both of these cultures are highly individualistic. Competition is encouraged in both countries, and task precedes relationship in priority order. The pursuit of every conceivable avenue possible to achieve individual accomplishment, as long as you don't infringe upon others, is valued. Both countries place a high valuation on people's time and the need for freedom, as well as acknowledging and rewarding for their hard work and accomplishments. However, Ireland does have a high regard for their historical and Catholic heritage, so relationships and harmony mean a bit more here than in the United States. Therefore, she should introduce changes more slowly to build stakeholder support, establish clearly identified roles for members of the work group, and implement a reward system for recognition and performance. Masculinity is the next dimension. In these societies, men are tough and assertive, and women are considered more emotional. The higher score for Ireland is believed to be deeply rooted in the patriarchal Catholic Church belief system. This dimension also negatively influences equality in pay between the sexes, so a female manager in Ireland is at a bit of a disadvantage. Therefore, in order to compensate, she should wear professional business attire at all times when at work. She needs to establish business credentials and position discreetly but clearly from the onset. She should maintain the Irish way of communicating by establishing warm pleasantries before getting down to business, and exercise polite manners when making requests of the workers, keeping conversations down to earth, and be willing to use and listen to the charming language gift of the Blarney. Uncertainty avoidance dimension is the next one. And in this particular case, these cultures, people change jobs easily. They dislike rules. They're very tolerant of people or ideas that are different. So the manager would need to adopt an informal business attitude that was comfortable with change, uncertainty, and risk. Therefore, she should institute an informal open door policy for everyone's questions and concerns, be willing to hold impromptu and regular work sessions to discuss progress or the need for change or project status. She needs to remain calm at all times and quietly reflect on situations that occur before speaking to others about them. And she needs to clarify deadlines and objectives in order to overcome the Irish's natural tendencies to accept ambiguity. The fifth dimension is long-term versus short-term. Concepts are fostered such as national pride, saving face, creative expressions, novelty, self-actualization. Good and evil in these cultures are absolute, and the golden rule is promoted. They're more attached to the past and the present than what may happen in the future. Ireland respects people based on the position they themselves have earned rather than based on their family name or education. So in order to be successful, the manager should hold herself to the highest standards of integrity so that workers are held accountable to the same standards and roles. Be respectful of others so she would be treated respectfully. treat all workers fairly and equitably without regard to gender, ethnicity, or background, and pay financial rewards close to the time of the hard work endeavored to earn it, rather than in the future. The last dimension is indulgence, and both Ireland and the US are fairly indulgent societies. They allow relatively free gratification of basic natural human desires that lead to enjoying life and having fun. People in these societies tend to feel happier and healthier, being masters of their own life. Both are wealthy countries with a gross domestic product per capita that ranks 19th and 20th in the world. Since both cultures stress the importance of leisure, self-indulgence, and lenient sexual norms, as well as freedom of speech, she must provide a venue for workers to openly express their thoughts on company operations or plans, express appreciation to workers for their high-level performance, ensure strong anti-discrimination and sexual harassment policies and procedures are in place and communicated to staff in order to ensure improprieties don't take place. And lastly, emphasize and promote the importance of taking vacation leave as required for a healthy balance of work and life. There are over 34.5 million Americans during the last census who listed their heritage as primarily or partially Irish, so the U.S. culture has actually been greatly influenced by Ireland for several hundred years, as their native people have migrated to the U.S. and been absorbed into and helped shape the communities therein. However, it would still be important for the female expatriate manager to quickly grasp and abide by all the subtle nuances in Ireland's cultural norms if she is to build effective working and personal relationships while there, even if she gets frustrated and personalities clash from the Irish way of communicating, or workers' need for a slower pace in accepting changes, or their resistance to accepting her as a female manager. She must be patient and work within their culture, or return to America as a failure. She will overcome all challenges as long as she remembers her Christian heritage. 1 Corinthians 13, verses 4 through 7. Love is always patient. Love is always kind. Love is never envious or arrogant with pride. Nor is she conceited, and she is never rude. She never thinks just of herself or ever gets annoyed. She never is resentful, is never glad with sin. She's always glad to side with truth and pleased that truth will win. So as Christians, we must love our Irish brothers and sisters, even if they frustrate us or sometimes their ways seem silly. In conclusion, I pass to you a famous Irish blessing. May the road rise up to meet you. May the wind always be at your back. May the sun shine warm upon your face and rains fall soft upon your fields. And until we meet again, may God hold you in the palm of his hand. Thank you.